It's Beverages with Brad.
Welcome to Beverages with Brad. I am here with my guest, Maria Bucci.
Hi.
Who is running for mayor of Cranston. When I was asked to do this interview, I was very hesitant, and nothing against you. We've met a couple of times. You're very nice. You know, growing up as a kid, my grandparents would always say, never talk about politics or religion. And for the most part, I've always kind of disagreed with them. I've always felt like, well, as long as two people are reasonable and kind, even if they have differences of opinions on issues of religion or politics, why can't they talk about it? And then 2020 happened, and now I'm horrified to talk about politics because I've never seen so much anger. I've never seen the country so polarized. So needless to say, yeah, I was very hesitant to do this interview. But hey, here we are.
Well, I'm glad you did, but your grandparents were right.
You think they were right?
I do.
If you agree with my grandparents, how in the world did you decide you wanted to go into politics?
So politics has been in my family for a long time. My grandfather ran for mayor in 1998. And I worked on his campaign.
Mm-hmm.
That year, I actually was on the ballot to be on the city committee,
Okay.
the Cranston City Committee.
The city committee sounds like a dance team.
I found my passion in politics, I think, from the moment I started.
What was it about the politics that made you enjoy it and be passionate about? What was it about it?
I think it was the campaigning. Going out, talking to people, hearing from the people and the concerns that they had, and how could we fix this? And how can we actually fix it? And I always felt that I was the right person for that then, and I definitely feel like I'm the right person to do that now.
You must be kind of brave, because I would think to get into politics, you got to have some serious thick skin.
Yes, you do.
Because when something goes wrong, they're going to blame the politicians.
Yes, that is true. You do, but you navigate through it. You have to remind yourself all the time why you're doing this and stay positive. I find myself to be extremely positive. I think we need that more now than ever in 2020.
What does your husband think about you doing this?
He gave me his full blessing, which is amazing. It takes a whole family behind you to really be successful.
To be honest with you, the right scares me and the left scares me. They both scare me. So, which was another reason I was hesitant when I heard you were a Democrat, because I got to be honest, these days the left scares me more than the right scares me. And let me give you a couple examples why that is. I'm a comedian, and there are some people on the very extreme left that are really taking political correctness to a whole nother level, to the point where in some countries I could literally be like arrested for telling a joke because it would be considered violence. The idea of controlling speech scares the shit out of me. The idea of the government controlling what I can say. And again, I'm not saying every Democrat believes that. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying there's some extremes on the left, and just like there's extremes on the right that scare me too. What do you think about that issue as far as freedom of speech?
So freedom of speech, that's what we're all about.
Right.
And it's so important that we don't lose that.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand why you could be frustrated, especially as a comedian.
Oh yeah, it's scary because I do a lot of crowd work and in the moment stuff. I don't know what I'm going to say. There's been times I get off stage and I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that. But that's part of the game. Like, you don't know what you're going to say, and whatever you're saying up there isn't meant to be taken that seriously. You know what I mean?
Right.
But some people take it very seriously these days.
I imagine being a comedian nowadays is very difficult.
Another thing from the left that scares me is you're probably aware that a lot of the country's on fire right now. That horrifies me. My brother lives close to Seattle. That city's a goddamn disaster right now.
Right. How's he doing?
He's okay. He lives far enough away where his house isn't burnt down yet, but it's scary. These major cities are scary, and again, a lot of that violence comes out of the extreme left. Now, that being said, I realize that there are some valid frustrations about the police system and about society and racism. I realize that there's a lot of valid complaints out there. There's a lot that needs to be discussed, and there's a lot that needs to be looked at in policing and things like that, and governing. But the idea of just burning down Starbucks and throwing bricks off highways, that terrifies me.
Yeah. And it does. And like you said, I understand the frustration, but that's not how we're going to solve the problems. We have to make real changes. And I think that can start right here in this city. I support men and women on the police force. They work really hard to keep our streets safe. Overall, it's a good police department. Can we make it better? Absolutely. Should we bring our police department to the 21st century standards? Absolutely. Do I think we could add certain programs that could help them? They just need training in certain areas, de-escalation, maybe have mental health evaluations. I mean, there are ways we can fix this. But we have to work together to make these changes. We have to work with our police departments. We have to work with community leaders and have input from everybody to make these changes.
What do you think the reason is that this country is so unbelievably divided right now? What would you attribute that to?
Politics.
Right.
Politics. And like your grandmother once told you, don't discuss it around the round table. It's a tough conversation. And there's sides, and like I said, it's very divided down the middle. And I don't want to focus on that. And I want to make it really clear that, yes, it's out there, and it's divide, and I think most of us know what's causing the divide, either if you're on that side or this side. But let's try to come together and find common solutions, because it's not working what's going on now.
What's your strategy of reaching across the aisle and like reaching, let's say, people that lean towards the right or Republicans? How do you connect with them?
Yeah. So when I was on the
divisive world, you know?
So I was on the city council in 2004 and elected again in 2006. And I think you can speak to any council person, Republican or Democrat, that served with me, and they would say, Maria's great to work with. Yes, I am a Democrat, and I do have democratic values. But the most important thing is the value of the people. And I think we all want the same thing. All right? We don't ask for much, I always say, as taxpayers. We want nice schools, nice streets, garbage picked up, nice neighborhoods.
I would love my garbage picked up. That's especially on a hot day. Nobody wants to smell hot garbage.
Yeah, that's true. That's why we have to make sure it works. And that's it. As taxpayers, we don't want much. But we want that done, and we want it done right. And bringing the community together. Yes, there's a lot going on nationally. Like I said, we need to focus on the city here, start here, and lead by example.
What are some of the biggest issues, if you win, that you want to tackle right away?
So right now, the biggest issue, of course, is the coronavirus, the safety of our teachers and students going back to school.
Yeah. Do you think they should go back to school or no?
I'm taking the advice of the doctors, the governor, the Department of Health. They have the data in front of them. They're making the wise decision. They just pushed it back 2 more weeks. They at least admitted they were not ready. They did not have everything in order to open up. So I do agree, take your time, open up when they are ready, and don't rush it.
I'm constantly overwhelmed with the conflicting information out there.
There's a lot.
So I've heard anything from the death rate is like 3%, and actually could be worse because some people die that weren't marked, to 0.3%, less than half of 1% death rate, and that it's overblown. So I could listen to a million different people talk about that. I've heard scientists, politicians, doctors on both sides of that.
Yes.
I've heard even like, where do you lie on the issue of how bad is it?
Well, right now, I have to, take the guidance of the scientists, the Department of Health, and how is it going to affect us here in Rhode Island. The rates could be different in other states. We're doing pretty good here in Rhode Island. Let's continue to do good. It does affect older populations, from what we can tell. So even if it may not affect you or I, it could affect our grandparents. Right. So I think safety is the main priority right now.
My parents are horrified.
Yes, mine too. Mine too. It's scary. And so we have to make sure we're taking all precautions to keep people safe. We will get through this, and we will look back at 2020 and say, boy, that year
sucked. Yeah. I promised one of our viewers I would ask one of his questions. He sent me like 50 questions, but I'm just going to choose one. If you received a $1 million grant to use for the city of Cranston any way you wanted, what would you do with it and why?
Could I get a couple million more?
He only offered, it was nice of him for him to offer $1 million, because I wouldn't offer you $1 million. I'd give you like $5. I don't even live in Cranston. I don't have a horse in this race.
$1 million. Well, right now, I think using the money to make sure that the students can get back to school safely, making sure that they have the equipment they need if they're learning from home, computers, tablets, internet. I think that's really important right now.
If you don't like her answer, you can send me the $1 million. I have plenty of things I could do with that. We'll sum this up with, why are you running?
We need good leaders. We need people to take politics serious. We need people to realize that we are the best country in the world, and we have to act like the best country in the world. So we all can do our part, whatever it may be, even if it's for a day, an hour, but get involved and take it serious.
Thank you for sitting down and talking with me. Thank you for the beer, the pistachios.
Thank you, Brad.
Thanks for watching America. Thank you.